If we don't do anything, then in a short few months, everybody's Social Security check is going to be cut substantially. They say in about 83 more checks, the trust fund is going to be gone, empty.
If you're currently receiving Social Security or planning to claim benefits in the next few years, this issue could directly affect the size of your monthly check. Millions of Americans depend on these payments to cover basic living expenses like housing, groceries, and healthcare. But behind the scenes, the financial situation of the program has been under pressure for years. Here's something that often surprises people. The Social Security system is already paying out more money than it collects each year. That gap has been growing over time, and it is one of the biggest reasons experts are concerned about the program's long-term future.
Comes from the Social Security Trustees report 2024. This is the newest one.
This is not a new issue. For more than 40 years, economists and government agencies have warned about the long-term finances of Social Security. Every year, the Social Security Trustees review the numbers, how much money comes into the system, and how much is paid out to beneficiaries. And for decades, the reports have shown the same pattern. Benefit payments are gradually growing faster than the revenue supporting them.
For 40 years, these guys have had plans, and they've talked about it, and they've had committees, and what did they actually get done? Zero. Zilch. Nada.
Most of the funding for Social Security comes from payroll taxes. Workers and employers each contribute 6.2% of wages through the Social Security portion of the FICA tax. But that tax only applies up to a certain income level. In recent years, the wage cap has been around $184,500. Income above that amount is not subject to Social Security payroll tax. That means someone earning $50,000 pays the full 6.2%, while someone earning millions of dollars may pay a much smaller percentage of their total income into the system.
If you make $50,000, you pay 6.2%. If you make $5 million, you pay less than 1%.
Each year, Social Security collects enormous amounts of revenue. Payroll taxes, taxation of benefits, and interest from the trust fund bring in about $1.2 trillion annually. But the program pays out even more. In 2024, Social Security paid approximately $1.3 trillion in benefits. That leaves a shortfall of about $100 billion in a single year. And that difference has to come from somewhere.
In 2024, 1.3 trillion was paid out, 1.2 trillion came in, 1.3 paid out. So there's $100 billion. Where did that $100 billion come from? Guess what? It came from the trust fund.
And this is where the situation becomes more serious. Right now, part of every Social Security check is supported by money taken from the trust fund reserves. About 10% of current monthly benefits come from that fund. But if the reserves are eventually depleted, the system would no longer have that extra support.
They say in about 83 more checks, the trust fund is going to be gone, empty.
Even if the trust fund runs out, Social Security will not disappear. Workers will still pay payroll taxes into the system. But those taxes alone would only be able to cover about 77% of scheduled benefits. That means benefits could automatically be reduced by roughly 23% if lawmakers do not make changes before then.
At that time, 23% would be cut by the trust fund.
To understand what that means in practical terms, consider this example. If someone receives $1,800 per month in Social Security benefits, a 23% reduction could mean losing more than $400 every month. For many retirees, that amount could make a significant difference in their monthly budget. Some people believe eliminating fraud or abuse could solve the problem. Fraud does exist, and investigators regularly work to stop improper payments. However, estimates suggest fraud represents less than 1% of total Social Security spending. Even eliminating every case of fraud would not come close to solving the program's financial gap.
Fraud, waste, and abuse in and of itself is not going to cover the 23% cut in your Social Security check.
Economists and policymakers have discussed several potential solutions. One option is raising or removing the wage cap so higher earners contribute more payroll taxes. Another proposal is gradually increasing the retirement age. Others have suggested structural reforms to the system. Each proposal involves difficult political and economic trade-offs. But most analysts agree on one thing. Without changes, the financial pressure on Social Security will continue to grow. Social Security remains one of the most important programs in the United States. It provides income to tens of millions of Americans every month. The program is not disappearing, but the size of future benefits will depend on decisions made in the coming years. And according to current projections, the timeline toward 2033 is already approaching.